following video is brought to you in part by Nerdy Urges, urban goods for the ultra nerd. Stay tuned to the end of this video for your red dreaded chance to save. Blah, blah.
Comics Plus, what is up? Akasan here.
What's up, San?
Hey, it's Terry.
Microphone.
Yours always so. Hey, it's Terry.
Hey, it's Terry. Hey, it's Akasan. All right, we're getting into it. Let's just do Venom.
All right.
How Venom should have ended. What did you guys think about the movie, by the way?
I thought it was all right.
It's
kind of funny, you know. Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah.
It's one of the few movies that had almost every genre in the same film. But I mean, all right, it is what it is. I think there were some things that if they had taken two of the characters and swapped them out, the story would have moved or flowed a little better. Venom and Riot.
Yeah.
Had Venom been the one that was coming from far into the city, and Riot been there instead of Venom, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of ridiculousness in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
You're a loser.
Venom.
Yeah.
But it did well enough to warrant a second one. So.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say I liked it, but we had this conversation before. Venom has such a deep-rooted history
with
to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like and it's not even like other bad guys. Like Venom's been around for. Eddie Brock has been around before Venom was. There before the black suit. Before Yeah, you can't do it. They tried. It was alright, but they could have done better.
Yep. For what they had, I've had a few years, or at least a year, to think about that and reflect upon it, because I always remember when I met somebody at Tokyo Comic Con who's up in the industry, and he was just like, how did you like the movie? And I flashed back to me hanging myself with my Venom tie. I mean, I have literally a Venom tattoo, and my thumbnail. But I've had time to think about it, especially with the news about Green Goblin and Harry Osborn, and just the way the whole Marvel deal, Sony deal works out. They did the best with what they could. I didn't particularly like it, but I hope there will be a time. I hope it gets better, but it's hard for me to people want to push for Spider-Man now to be in the movie, but I'm like, why? There's no point. Why would they? They're not going to hate each other. They shouldn't hate each other. Yeah. Maybe Eddie has some dealings, but there's nothing the symbiote would be mad about. But, whatever. Anyways, let's just see how it should have been before I get off this tangent.
Hey, Eddie.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that scene.
Oh my.
Oh, it's you.
Of course it's me. Who did you think it was?
Oh, Venom with
Ew.
What?
Yeah, that was a weird scene.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't have a problem
it happened
with
in the
it.
comics.
It happened in the comics. It was like...
I thought that was supposed to be a siren.
More homeless people to test you.
Hello, police. My boss is kidnapping innocent people and killing them with experiments.
Thank you.
Can you maybe put a stop to it? I was going to go to a deadbeat reporter, but then I thought you guys would...
You
Exactly.
don't understand.
Just
I'm
call
a
the cops.
scientist. That makes it okay for me to kill people in the lab.
Like Stranger Things, basically.
Wow.
All right, you saved the
Wow,
day.
that was quick.
Thanks. I'm not a superhero, though. I was just doing what I thought was right.
Which is exactly what
Let's
a hero
see.
does.
That's right.
Hey, I'm Batman. You want to know my secret identity?
Oh! Yeah, actually.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do next. I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm Batman. Oh my gosh. I don't get it. Why aren't these drones working? Here's a bright idea. Why don't we stop making drones whose only weapon is to slam into things, but instead use drones that have missiles or lasers or even tasers? Oh my gosh, we're so stupid.
There you go. There you go.
And I can get away with this. Take him out into the woods and eliminate him.
He doesn't even look like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's the first person we've ever had to clean up inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, sure. Just do that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I've been impaled.
Look at that shit.
I've been impaled.
My beautiful boy.
He's dead.
Why does this?
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
Yeah, I left the Brock body because it died. Went back to the girlfriend because she was close by.
Oh, so Riot just escaped then?
He took off in the shuttle, yeah.
What if he returns with his symbiote army?
Even if Drake doesn't starve to death all alone out in space, we can just light him on fire when they get here.
Alright, fellow symbiotes.
There you go.
Prepare to attack. Huh? Watch the map.
There you go.
So yeah, not worried.
All right.
at the beginning of the film.
Now I will just sit here for 6 months before looking for the lab.
Oh, no. We are not staying here. We are leaving tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Saving my brothers.
Holy crap, what is that thing?
It's like Spider-Man and Hulk had a baby. Riot is here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because he walked the whole way, right?
Yeah.
So we took over the lab.
Dope! Anti-Venom.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Most of us are on a quest. That one keeps having feelings for the human scenery. The lights are so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're such a loser. Apologize!
Wait, is that the same face you had after watching Far From Home?
Well, because it just reminds me of how, like, wow, this movie's just bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually very good.
I know, right?
It's crazy because Venom had some good parts. It really
Yeah, it had some
Did
good
it?
parts, but the thing, it had some interesting action scenes.
Yeah, it's a movie of scenes. Yeah.
But story-wise, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like, we have to get him and keep it hush-hush. So let's blow up half the city.
Yeah.
Then that's one of them. Then the other thing is like, okay, yeah, symbiote's there. It waits 6 months to come into the city. It's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't take that
I
long.
honestly cannot remember most of this movie at all.
I
I just remember, like, you're a loser like me. I'm like, why? And then why do they have English names? Like, I call myself Venom or something like that. He introduces, the symbiote introduces itself as Venom. The other one's Riot. Like, why do you have English names? Like, but those were like the least of my problems. I was just like, this is so, oh my god.
That and it's just the way that it happened was a little weird.
Yeah.
It felt like you write the ending, you write the beginning.
Yep.
I'll write everything else in the middle, and we'll just give it to that guy and just tell him to edit.
I think that's exactly how it went down.
Oh, really?
No. What he's referring to is the fact that they actually did rewrite some shit while filming, like on set. Like there's a infamous scene where Tom Hardy actually walks off, and he's like, "Fuck, dude, you guys gotta clean this shit up. You gotta fix this."
He pulls a Christian Bale.
Yeah, he goes into the trailer and doesn't come out till they come back with a better story, and so you can kind of tell.
That would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Because all right, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but Eddie got impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. You saying he should have died? Yeah.
So
now, if he still had part of the symbiote in him, and that is what helped save him, okay, pass.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gray area,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
can see that.
Right.
But from my understanding is none of it was there, so
Yeah, he would have died not instantly, but like if the
he
brain
got impaled.
Yeah, so if the brain activity is still going on, which it would not be, he would have been dead. Like there's no reviving him.
This symbiote style, they took a lot of luxuries in the fact that as long as the symbiote touches his ass or some shit, it can heal him up. And like I was just at this point, I was just like, okay, none of this shit is making.
That's where I would meet the elastic band and say that's a stretch.
Good one.
I mean, people losing arms, limbs, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to get through this movie.
The studio didn't want them to have an R rating, so it's like the violent scenes and things that we would kind of see in the trailer, or whatever, were cut. Or when it's time for someone to get their head eaten off, it's camera's not there. Like,
actually, I saw Venom bit a fucking cop's head off.
Yeah, but it's like the way the entire movie played out. That didn't stay consistent.
So you know what I blame also for this is Deadpool, because after Deadpool came out, everyone thought that we needed to have an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, the R stamp means that it's gonna go there, it's gonna be deep.
Right.
But I was just watching the first Iron Man last night. That could have been R easily. You know, like it's PG-13, but it's also deep as hell.
Yeah.
You was watching the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy just recently.
Yeah.
You know, that's PG-13, but it ain't for kids.
But but that doesn't make sense because there's a lot of people that die in the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's okay. I'm like this. If they have an R rating, then yes, just do it. If I don't mean do it over the top crazy like Deadpool, don't mimic that. Deadpool is Deadpool. Leave it like it is. But between that and Logan, that actually made me feel good because you have a character that realistically, when he stabs you, just there's basically like 3 giant knives going into a body. Mm-hmm. When there's no blood coming out, I'm like, really? That's kind of weak.
Yeah, in X2 there was no blood when he killed all those mercenaries.
But obviously,
but doing that gives creative freedom also. So it's like, okay, look, this is in this type universe, so because this character is by themselves, they'll do that. Now, having that character team up with another character, like say Spider-Man, okay, PG-13.
Yes.
You don't need to have all the crazy stunts with blood and all that kind of stuff because it's meant for a different type of audience.
Again, though, but there's something to also keep in mind is, unlike Deadpool was kind of a fluke in the terms of an R rating. Logan, people are going to go see that regardless because he's been around for 14 odd years. But when you pull an R rating, you lose about a third of your audience or so. Because it's going to be harder for people to go see it. Blade was a good example because Blade, people saw that movie not because it was Blade, people saw it because it was Wesley Snipes in an R-rated vampire movie. So
this would be the same thing. You're going to watch Tom Hardy playing Venom.
No, but you can't attach, regardless of Spider-Man not being in it, being a Spider-Man villain, or being associated with Spider-Man, you're gonna have kids running in there to go try to see that movie. Yeah. So it was better just have it PG-13. What I'm interested in is what they're gonna do with Morbius, because Morbius is a Spider-Man villain, but most kids wouldn't really connect the two. No. So I could see them getting away with an R-rated movie on that one.
No, I'm just I forgot that's a thing. I won't believe it until I see a trailer. But if it is,
I mean, they're filming now.
They're filming,
and they've actually had a couple of photos out.
Yeah.
So that's he's got that.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's gonna be in this Venom verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have to have something in the Venom verse now that you've basically said, hey, look, here's some other symbiotes, and we're not going to do anything with them. Riot was the baddest of them all. Now that he's done, now what?
So with Morbius, I'm not sure kids will know. I don't know if he's in the other Spider-Man shows.
He's in the animated.
I was gonna say in the Fox
Plasma.
One, that's how I know Morbius. So
they're going with, I can't remember fully, but they're going with from what I've been hearing, it's based upon a fairly newer comic run. So not the stuff we know of like Spider-Man 100 or whatever. It's gonna be more of like Interview with a Vampire type thing where he's in the shadows type of thing. I'm not fully sure, but kind of homeless dude just slumming around and shit. We'll see. That's basically it. And what I would say in terms of, I think there was a point you guys made earlier about connection-wise. The thing that I think Venom proved to me is that even loosely Marvel-related, it'll still be popular because I think people that are more core connected, like myself included, that shit was painful. It was like kind of really hurt to actually watch that movie.
Yeah.
Just, I think because there's only a few characters that I'm that attached to. Batman, Spider-Man, and Venom. That's it. Everything else, I don't really care if they make dramatic changes. But with Venom, when I watched, it was just so hard for me to like, even the ironically, the one scene that people really cringe at is the one that I was fine with, which was She-Venom. Because that happened
that was
legit in the comics. It was funny, but it was like, I was like, okay, well, yeah, it happens to Anne in the movie. But the one thing I've learned is the fact that you can still have a movie roughly based on the origins of a character, and it'll still make money because people, the general audience
has love
doesn't care. And from, I guess, there's enough people out there that will watch a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird to me, but that's my situation. Now, what I hope, what they're going to be doing in the future,
money.
It made a lot of money. I was so surprised.
And it came out at the same time as the musical with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Star is Born.
Star is Born, yeah.
Now, what I'm hoping for at this point, because one of the biggest fears was the fact that if Venom makes money, then Sony's gonna back out. Sony has more leeway with
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, because Far From Home is the final movie for that deal.
Yeah.
But from what I've been told and what I'm understanding now is that a new deal has already kind of been reached. We just don't know the terms of it, and what we're probably going to be seeing is just 2 Spider-Man in the future. So the Venomverse exists.
And they'll have another casting for another Spider-Man.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because the people that have come on board and have enjoyed Tom Holland as he is, leave him alone.
I think so. I think it's
And
best.
on the Venom side, if you're going to have someone else play Spider-Man and recast, it'd be interesting? Not do Spider-Man at all. Do Spider-Woman. A completely different character. The only reason I say this is because how many Peter Parker iterations have we had?
We've had that
3. If you're gonna have something in that universe and you're gonna start trying to do something different from Spider-Man, but like Spider-Man, then just do it all different.
I get that,
Spider-Man
but to answer your question on that, Batwoman or Gotham, like don't give me the fake version, or don't give me the discount version of the character that I want to see. Like I don't want to see Spider-Woman fighting Morbius, Venom, all these Spider-Man villains. I want to see Spider-Woman fighting her people.
Oh, it doesn't mean that you don't introduce Spider-Man, but I mean have a different character come in, build that character up, and introduce Spider-Man down the line later. That way, it doesn't cause confusion at all because you already have a Spider-Man that's super popular right now. Then having another Spider-Man cast automatically, it's a little too much. No? Do you think it's oversaturation?
I think that it would just be weird. That'd be basically like what the CW sometimes has to do. Like they gotta make you can use Supergirl, but we're gonna introduce Superman a few times. But now since you guys are really into Supergirl, we're gonna have to underpower Superman like that.
Okay, well that's annoying, and I wasn't a fan of that. And I watched that and I was like, as much as I love Supergirl, and I do, that part was kind of garbage. But that's another thing. Don't have him in there as the main character. So like in this case, you have Peter Parker over here.
Yeah, I get
another Spider-Man. Doesn't have to be Peter Parker. It could be Miles or whoever. And cast them under the same moniker as Spider-Man. Yeah. And do it that way. It gives you a chance to build on a new character, a fresh storyline, and not mess up with anything that happened before. People that were fans of the classic Spider-Man are not angry because that doesn't get touched.
But so I see what you're saying. It just would have to be handled in a way where there's going to have to be a legitimate excuse as to why we don't have the main character. It's the same. It goes back to Batwoman. How the hell can you have a Batwoman show without Batwoman in Gotham eventually going to be fighting Gotham-ish type villains without Batman? There's got to be a damn good excuse.
Outside of the throwaway line that he left the city, I look at it as like this. They literally haven't cast a person for that role, so they're going off of the mystery around that character, and they will introduce him later. As long as they introduce him, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
And on the other side, on Spider-Man, as long as they eventually introduce the character, I'm cool with it. I'm just tired of Peter Parker being rebooted every single time.
Yeah.
It's overkill. Because we had how many Peter Parkers in the Into the Spider-Verse?
Here's what I would like to see if they're gonna do it. What I'd like to just see is leave MCU Tom Holland on his own. Yeah. I'm actually really feeling what's going on with young Peter Parker now. I kind of like Tom Holland's. I didn't like it in the beginning, but now after Far From Home, I'm really enjoying seeing this young version grow up. Let MCU and Sony do their thing, get those billions of dollars. But with the Spider-Verse, the Venom verse,
older Spider-Man,
bring back Garfield. Shit, do Into the Spider-Verse.
If they do that, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
because I thought that character did a really good balance of
bring back Garfield,
Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Do some sort of like Into the Spider-Verse type-ish movie. If I'd even be fine for like
him into the Venom universe.
Some sort of like conversion type of thing where the worlds merge. It doesn't fuck with the MCU, but there is they already hinted it in Far From Home
like
that there's multiverse.
That's what happens.
Do some shit like that. I'd be down with that. Like just to kind of give us the Spider-Man we are waiting for.
So people who want somewhat of an
older
Spider-Man,
exactly.
And then if you want a younger Spider-Man, you have.
I'd be down with that. All right, guys. Red Red Nation, stand up, speak up. Let us know what you guys think about that. Terry said nothing.
Because to be quite honest,
yes.
it is what it is when it comes to this movie. I was gonna drop one scenario though. How would you take it if, let's say, DC decided they wanted to make a Red Hood movie with no Batman, no Robin origin, just Red Hood?
Depends on how it's handled. It all depends on.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
We've had so many Batman stories that it really depends on how it's handled.
Ah! Got it.
Damn! Yeah, I hope we got that.
Our bad.
Our bad? Our bad?